Trophies. Certainly big game trophies hold a special place in our hunting culture. But the truth is, we are all trophy collectors to one degree or another. Hi, I'm Shane Mahoney. Dating back to man's earliest beginnings as a hunter-gatherer, the largest and healthiest of a species denoted the skill and bravery of the huntsman, provided life-giving food and clothing, and emerged as spiritual icons. Over time, such trophy animals have also represented the wealth of a landowner's holdings, personal achievement, excellence in wildlife management, memories, and family heirlooms. But sportsmen are not alone in seeking and bringing home trophies. As children and on through adulthood, almost all of us have brought home a seashell from our beach vacation, an unusual rock or abandoned bird's nest we've discovered, a pressed wildflower within the pages of a book, or an unusual piece of driftwood to place in our yard. These symbolize our travels and experiences in nature, things that caught our eye and our fascination. These mementos are indeed trophies, just like the photographs and videos we take or the athletic awards we receive. They are physical memories. In hunting, we too have trophies. Some are photographs, some are old and unusual artifacts discovered on the hunt, or signs of earlier human presence. And sometimes the ultimate prize, the horns, antlers, skulls, or tusks of an animal we have taken. Sure enough, we tack antlers up on our barns or archways. For the exceptionally large or special specimens, we may have a taxidermist mount them for us, and we hang these over our fireplaces, in our dens, or rooms dedicated to dialogue and memory. In the process, we might even carefully measure the specimen we have acquired just to see where it fits within a species' range of size and beauty. In this week's episode of Boone and Crockett Country, we will hunt for mule deer in eastern Montana with a Boone and Crockett official measurer, someone who has the training and authority to officially score and record our trophy's characteristics. Along the way, we will learn about this aspect of big game hunting that is very much overlooked, often misunderstood, but practiced by thousands of sportsmen and women who wish to know the quality of the animal they have taken and contribute to the tradition of building our trophy memories. Montana mule deer and the official measurer is next on Boone and Crockett Country. Eastern Montana is home to a rich diversity of big game, including overlapping populations of mule deer and white-tailed deer. Mark Streitskuth lives in nearby Washington State, and like many outdoorsmen, he travels as often as possible to Montana to hunt. For the past several years, he has committed to using his non-resident deer tag in a special place he has come to know well.
It's an incredible spot with a combination of environmental factors and the management by the ranchers here that create an incredible opportunity for deer hunting. And I can't tell you how much I've appreciated being able to be out here for as many years as I have and enjoy this experience. It's one of those magical places, and I hope to be here, for a long time to come. What there is here is a river bottom, and there's agriculture on the river bottom, coupled with the cover, the cottonwood strips along the river and the Russian olives that are starting to come in. There's a lot of cover for whitetail on the river. And the river bottom has the river breaks that come into it, of course, on either side, and the breaks have mule deer, and the mule deer are able to travel back and forth out of those breaks if they're going to feed on the agriculture. And of course, this is phenomenal habitat if they never came down from here too.
In addition to being an avid outdoorsman, Mark is also a Boone and Crockett official measurer.
A lot of people these days are interested in trophies, and that makes us all interested in score. And we've all been, over the years, and I certainly was one of these, a garage type measurer, right? I sort of knew what to do, but I didn't maybe know it all, and I knew enough to be dangerous. So in 2011, I had the opportunity to take a measurer's workshop in Missoula. That's an intensive study on measuring the North American big game animals and how they're scored by the Boone and Crockett Club.
An official measurer is someone who is trained in the methodology of measuring trophies. for the personal interests of the hunters and the record books. What might separate official measurers from other reliable wildlife experts is they don't get paid, but volunteer their time to verify what we might expect or be hoping for. They are passionate about big game hunting, conservation, wildlife, and working with and helping people.
I've been an official measurer for almost 20 years, and I've met hundreds of hunters, scored hundreds of trophies, but I think the most rewarding part is scoring the trophies taken by youth hunters. The excitement that you see in their eyes when they bring a trophy in to be measured. I scored an antelope for a kid, and it was, I believe, 82 and an eighth. So it just made the book, and you would have thought he had shot the new world record. It was so exciting for him, and it was really fun to see, and his dad was so proud of him. So yeah, it's a lot of fun when you see something like that. I think it's really the most amazing part of being a Boone and Crockett scorer is helping kids and showing them that they want to learn everything about scoring an animal, and they're really involved and interested in it. And it's really rewarding.
Generally, we found over the years here the best way to hunt these deer is to get up on a high point and glass the areas that you're going to see the most deer movement or the biggest concentrations of deer. This buck here is a real nice example of a typical mule deer. He's got real dark antlers, and we're up on a ridge where there's some timber, and apparently he's been rubbing his antlers up in the timber to get that nice dark color. At least that's what we've always assumed here. I would bracket this deer when I first looked at him in terms of where I thought he would fall for a score, just to get a kind of a quick rough idea in my head about how big he might be. And I think this buck is probably in that 155 to 160 inch kind of deer. And he's a magnificent buck, but we're looking for something a little bit bigger. Like I say, we're looking for a buck that's maybe one click bigger than this, something that's gonna go 170 or a little bit better. And I think we're gonna let him go. He's got great potential to be a great buck next year.
Official measurers are experts in their craft, and they need to be. Not only do people want and expect exacting measurements of their trophies, measurers are collecting scientifically useful data. Both the Boone and Crockett Club and Pope and Young Club hold 4-day training workshops to certify their official measuring crews. This is a hands-on course covering how to correctly measure every species of native North American big game.
I wasn't expecting that. It was 4 solid days of hands-on animals and learning about the history of Boone and Crockett as well. But they really make sure that you know everything about every animal when you leave that door after the 4 days. We got hands on everything, and they gave us difficult trophies as well, difficult non-typicals, even tricky typicals. There was a test at the end, and they were very serious about it. They have failed people before, and they make you retake the test. And so they give you some hints throughout the course saying, hey, this will probably be on the test, but they really want you to learn this stuff.
Very few hunters will ever take a record book qualifying trophy in their lifetime. A good question, then, is why do we care so much about trophies and scoring? And should we, as sportsmen, care about score at all? One of the answers is likely the most overlooked part of big game hunting today. Mature male animals old enough and large enough to make the record book represent proof of something critically important to all sportsmen.
It's an indication of how well we're doing at wildlife management in all our wild areas where we hunt. And the fact that we're producing these large mature animals is testament to good management, and it's testament to good conservation.
From a biological standpoint, it takes 3 things to produce a record book animal: age, quality habitat, and genetics. Age and habitat are directly related to proper management. If a particular population is being overhunted, either by man or predators, there will be few, if any, mature males. If a population is left undermanaged relative to the carrying capacity of their range, habitat degradation can occur, affecting the health of the wildlife living there,
and poor antler growth is an indicator of poor habitat quality.
We use mass and symmetry, which are factors that are found in very healthy specimens of wildlife. You know, good population numbers, everything's got to be in place to get to this level. So that's what we do it for, is we keep the scoring system in an effort to try to recognize the most mature animals, to say, okay, you know, if these are here, the whole population's there, everything's working well, the habitat's good, the forage is good, and that's what we're concerned with, is the conservation, successes and failures. I mean, if an area is not producing trophies that did at one time, that could be a sign that maybe harvest is high, or predation might be a problem, or something along those lines. That's our concern, that's why we do it, is for conservation.
Whether you realize it or not, or are motivated to support conserving and managing wildlife through your hunting activities, the fact remains you are. Hunting is in every aspect, conservation in practice.
It's an opportunity to participate in conservation to be an official measure, and more people should look at their hunting experience that way too. Everybody that's out here hunting is participating in game management and conservation in the state that or province that they're doing that in, and we should all be proud of doing our part.
Entering a trophy into the Boone and Crockett or Pope and Young Club's records program is not mandatory or required with the purchase of a hunting license. It is an elective that more sportsmen and women are choosing. But not all who have taken a trophy animal large enough to qualify for a record book have always entered their trophies.
I've been an official measurer for a little over 51 years. I think there's a greater interest today than there was when I started the score. And there were many trophies that were out there that had never been looked at. And so one of the things we did in order to encourage people to recognize their trophies was go around to the different communities and hold measuring opportunities for people. At that time, we came up with a lot of really fine trophies that otherwise would have not ever been recognized.
I tell them that, you know, they should enter it in the book because it's a conservation tool, and it's a data tool, and they ought to do it to honor the animal. I would encourage them to do it just as a part of the hunting community and a part of the conservation community, and a part of being able to, like I say, kind of give us a yardstick on how we're doing out there. I've gotten to the point in my hunting career where it's more important for me to go hunting. I guess I'm sort of that hunter that's like the fisherman, you know. First you just want to catch a fish, then you want to catch a lot of fish, then you want to catch a big fish, then you want to catch a lot of big fish, and then you just want to go fishing. I kind of just want to go hunting.
Trophies, score, official measurers, record books, tracking successful or unsuccessful game management. All of these things have become part of our big game hunting society, and for good reasons. But all of these things aside, the notion of trophy itself has spawned a few negative things worth watching for. For one, allowing a trophy to define the hunting experience, and whether that experience was successful or unsuccessful, memorable or to be forgotten, is in a very real way losing proper perspective.
It's a really, really nice, in my opinion, 4-point whitetail. He's making me think about it. He might score 145. Isn't he gorgeous? There are some great bucks on the ranch. We just haven't seen one of these bucks that I really thought was mature enough to take this year. And what that means is all these bucks that are out here now, hopefully a lot of them will be out here next year, and maybe they'll be bigger. What's important to me is the hunt and being able to have the experience. The score of a buck, the score of a bull, is really a yardstick that we can use to talk about when we all know how to speak that language. And we all kind of speak that Boone and Crockett scoring system language. You know, we talk about a 180 mule deer and we talk about a 150 whitetail. And the score is a yardstick that everybody can use, like I say, as a discussion point and as something to measure past experiences and current experiences by. But the truth is, there's a lot more to a trophy than that. The trophy is the experience of coming out here or wherever you hunt and being able to take that animal in fair chase in its environment, the camaraderie of the people you're with, the friends that you get to spend time with along the way, the memory of your experience. Was it a hard hunt? Sometimes it's not such a big animal that makes an incredible trophy to an individual that puts out an amazing amount of effort to get it, depending on what it is. I think that when you're talking about the score, you can't get too hung up on the numbers. It's just a number, but the truth is, it's what it means to you and the experience and the effort and the dedication that you put into it when you went out and got it that's really important.
Trophies mean different things to different people, and this is how it should be. This is true for achievement, recognition, or those personal artifacts that represent and rekindle the memories of past experiences. Our big game hunting culture may sometimes appear to covet trophies, but when all is said and done, when the photos have been taken and framed, the heads mounted and hung, and the scores tabulated and books published, it is ultimately our hunting memories that we seek to preserve. We should remember as well that trophies remind us of something of even greater importance. Trophies are, after all, indicators of the health of our wildlife habitats and of the effectiveness of our wildlife management programs. In this sense, they are windows into the world of wildlife conservation and to the efforts we have made in North America for well over 100 years to keep wildlife with us, healthy, free, and abundant. I may never take a record book trophy animal in my lifetime, but for me, knowing that through my hunting activities I am directly supporting the future of our big game species is in itself my trophy, my reminder of our collective achievements for wildlife and the role responsible hunters have played. Far too many of us overlook this fact. Keeping the notion of trophy in proper perspective is critical to the future of our wildlife and our cherished hunting traditions.